this is what this business is all about, and we know that.
When most people hear the name Hulk Hogan, they picture the towering wrestler in his red and yellow gear, flexing his muscles and entertaining millions with his famous leg drop. For decades, he was the face of professional wrestling, a larger-than-life hero who became a household name. But now, long after his retirement and even his passing, a shocking revelation has surfaced, one that could change how people remember him forever. Federal investigators recently uncovered a hidden tunnel system beneath Hogan's once glorious Florida mansion. Even more startling is the alleged involvement of his daughter, Brooke, in this secret world. What was going on under that glamorous property? Why would the family need such a network, and how long had it been there?
We will not be answering any questions, but we will provide additional information when it becomes available. Just before 10 a.m. today, Clearwater Fire and Rescue along with the Clearwater Police Department responded to a house in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue for a medical-related call. It was discovered at that time Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue.
Let's carefully unravel this discovery, explore the mansion's mysterious features, and see how the Hogan family story took such a dramatic and unexpected turn. Back in 1992, at the height of Hulk Hogan's career, the wrestling legend, whose real name was Terry Gene Bollea, purchased a 1.5-acre piece of prime waterfront land in Bel Air, Florida. The price tag was $2 million, a massive investment at the time. But Hogan wanted more than just a house. He wanted a family palace, a sanctuary that would symbolize his success and provide comfort for years to come. What followed was nearly a decade of construction.
A little bit of a background on the house. It's an 18th century replica of a French farmhouse.
By the early 2000s, the 17,000 square foot French chateau-style mansion stood as one of the most impressive properties in Florida. With 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and every luxury imaginable, it seemed like the perfect home for America's most famous wrestler and his family. From the outside, everything looked glamorous. There was a massive pool with cascading waterfalls, a private dock with boat lifts, jet ski storage, and breathtaking views of Clearwater Beach and the Gulf of Mexico. Inside, there was a gourmet kitchen, a gym, a tanning salon, and a 4-car garage.
This is the 99-foot drop into the 100-foot deep end of the pool.
VH1 even turned the Hogan home into the backdrop of its hit reality series, Hogan Knows Best, letting millions of viewers peek into the family's daily lives. But, as investigators have now revealed, what the world saw was only part of the story. Hidden beneath the elegant design and celebrity sheen was something few could have imagined: a secret underground tunnel system that may have been tied to illegal activities. The shocking discovery came after Hogan's death in July 2025, when investigators began reviewing the estate as part of routine legal proceedings. At first, it was all standard paperwork valuing assets.
We have so many windows that you can't sleep in the morning, so I had to put all these drapes up, and it got a little goopy, but we love it.
Open sesame.
Abracadabra.
Checking ownership records and confirming blueprints. But the blueprints raised red flags. Certain parts of the design didn't match the actual construction. Rooms were marked differently, walls were thicker than they should have been, and some spaces seemed to vanish on paper. When federal agents dug deeper, they found what no one expected: a sprawling network of tunnels and hidden chambers beneath the mansion. These weren't simple storage basements.
My kids to this day are still reeling that they can't get their feet back on planet Earth, and I can't get my life back on track either. I don't know, what am I supposed to do, start over now? I'm 57, and you know, I don't know where I fit in this world anymore.
The passages appeared carefully engineered, with multiple exits leading toward the waterfront. Experts now believe the design allowed for discreet movement in and out of the property, possibly using boats or jet skis to transport people or goods without detection. At first, it was unclear why such a tunnel system would exist. Some thought it could have been for safety, like a storm shelter or emergency escape route. But investigators have since suggested a darker explanation.
So supportive. She was the direction of my attack.
You know, I was not so mad at her boyfriend. I was mad at her, you know, and she instantly said, I don't even need to forgive you because I'm not mad at you. I love you. You're my...
The tunnels may have been part of a smuggling or money laundering operation that had been quietly operating for decades. As strange as this sounds, Hulk Hogan is the only famous figure linked to underground secrets. Over the years, other celebrities have been connected to hidden tunnels, bunkers, or escape routes. For example, in the 1970s, rumors swirled about tunnels beneath the Playboy Mansion in Los Angeles. Old photographs and blueprints suggested that underground passages might have connected Hugh Hefner's estate to neighboring celebrity homes. While some dismissed it as myth, staff later admitted that tunnels may have existed but were sealed in the late 1980s. In more recent years, tech billionaire Mark Zuckerberg made headlines when reports surfaced about a massive underground shelter being built on his estate in Hawaii. Construction permits showed plans for a 5,000 square foot facility with soundproof doors, escape hatches, and mechanical rooms. While Zuckerberg downplayed the story, the public became fascinated by what wealthy people might be hiding beneath their lavish homes. Even David and Victoria Beckham's English countryside estate included blueprints for a private tunnel connecting their house to a gatehouse for emergencies. That project wasn't hidden, it was revealed through public planning records, but it still fueled curiosity about how far the rich and famous go to secure privacy. In light of these examples, Hogan's case may not be entirely unique. What makes it so explosive, however, is the timing.
I was on the pain pills. I did have doctors just writing prescriptions after prescriptions. And all of a sudden, it becomes a vicious cycle as they were giving me the pain meds. I was in crazy pain. I couldn't even function.
The alleged involvement of his daughter and the possibility that the tunnels were used for criminal activity rather than simple security. The public saw the Hogan family as a picture-perfect group. On Hogan Knows Best, Hulk was the protective father, Brooke was the aspiring pop star, Nick was the mischievous son, and Linda was the supportive wife. But behind the cameras, tensions were brewing. The cracks started showing in 2007 when Hulk and Linda divorced after more than 2 decades of marriage. The split was messy, involving financial disputes, public accusations, and bitter court battles. Around the same time, the U.S. housing market crashed, forcing the Hogans to sell their beloved Bel Air mansion for far less than they had hoped. Originally listed for $25 million, the mansion eventually sold in 2012 for just $6.2 million, a devastating loss of nearly $19 million. Strangely, though, the family bounced back almost immediately. Within days, Hogan purchased another luxury waterfront property in Clearwater for $3.3 million. How could they afford this after such a massive financial blow? Federal investigators now believe the answer lies in unreported sources of income. The tunnels and secret operations beneath the Bel Air mansion may have provided a steady flow of revenue that was never disclosed. Perhaps the most shocking part of this story is the suggestion that Hogan's daughter, Brooke, may have played a role in the hidden operations. For years, Brooke was presented as an innocent young woman pursuing a music career, shielded from the world by her protective father. But investigators now see her upbringing differently. Brooke's life was tightly controlled by Hulk, who reportedly restricted her friendships, monitored her relationships, and shaped her public image. This kind of isolation, experts say, can create dependency and loyalty traits useful for keeping family members involved in sensitive activities. Her handling of the 2015 scandal, when recordings of Hulk using racist language surfaced, is especially telling. Brooke publicly defended her father with remarkable poise, crafting statements that balanced acknowledgement of wrongdoing with an effort to protect the family brand. Investigators believe her calm, practiced response shows she had training in damage control skills that don't usually develop without preparation. In 2023, Brooke made a surprising legal request. She asked to be removed from her father's will. At the time, it seemed like a personal decision to avoid drama. Now, however, It looks like a deliberate attempt to distance herself from the family's operations as federal pressure grew. Hulk Hogan's body had been through years of punishment from his wrestling career. By 2024, he had undergone more than 25 surgeries, including 10 on his back. He was open about his battles with pain, prescription drug use, and the toll wrestling had taken on him. In May 2025, just 2 months before his death, Hogan had neck fusion surgery. Surprisingly, his recovery seemed quick. Friends, however, worried he was pushing himself too hard with new business ventures and appearances. On July 24, 2025, Hogan suffered a fatal heart attack at his Clearwater home. Emergency responders tried for half an hour to save him, but he was pronounced dead at the hospital. At first, his death seemed like the tragic but natural result of years of health problems. Now, though, investigators wonder if the stress of looming federal raids on his family's operations played a role in his sudden passing. The evidence pulled from the tunnels paints a picture of a long-running underground operation that may have spanned multiple properties and decades. While the exact nature of the activities is still under investigation, officials believe they involve smuggling, financial misconduct, and possibly other forms of organized crime. What makes this case extraordinary is how the Hogan family's celebrity image may have acted as the perfect cover. Who would suspect that the smiling wrestler from television, the man who told kids to say your prayers and eat your vitamins, could be running secret operations under his home? Who would think that a reality show, watched by millions, might actually have been a clever distraction from what was really happening behind the scenes? Federal investigators are now re-examining Hogan Knows Best episodes, looking for possible coded messages, suspicious edits, or unexplained gaps that could point to hidden activities. Associates, business partners, and even family friends are being questioned about what they knew or didn't know. For fans who grew up idolizing Hulk Hogan, this news is hard to digest. He was more than just a wrestler, he was a cultural icon. He starred in movies, appeared on talk shows, sold merchandise, and represented the ultimate American hero figure in pop culture. But legacies are fragile. If the allegations about tunnels, smuggling, and hidden operations prove true, Hogan's reputation could shift from beloved entertainer to cautionary tale. What was once seen as a career built on charisma and strength may instead be remembered as a story of secrecy, control, and criminal enterprise. And at the heart of this story lies a family caught in the middle, children raised in a world where loyalty was demanded, privacy was non-existent, and the line between reality and performance was blurred beyond recognition. As of now, federal prosecutors continue to piece together the evidence. The investigation has expanded to include financial records, property surveys, and testimony from people who once worked in or visited the mansion. The Hogan tunnels have become more than just a curiosity. They represent a case study in how wealth, fame, and carefully crafted public images can conceal deeper truths. Whether the Hogan family will face legal consequences or whether the case will fade into rumor remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Hulk Hogan's legacy will never be viewed the same way again. What began as the story of a wrestler's death and a mansion filled with memories has turned into one of the most bizarre celebrity mysteries in recent history. A hidden tunnel beneath a luxury home, a family struggling with dysfunction, secrecy, and control. A daughter allegedly tied to operations she may not have fully understood. And a legacy hanging in the balance. For fans, the discovery is heartbreaking. For investigators, it's a puzzle still unfolding. And for the Hogan family, it's a reckoning that could redefine everything they spent decades building. And that brings us to the end of this wild story. Hulk Hogan's legacy, once celebrated as the ultimate wrestling hero, now finds itself tangled in mystery, hidden tunnels, and unanswered questions. Was it all just an elaborate safety feature? Or was something darker going on beneath that mansion? And what role did his family, especially Brooke, really play in all of this? One thing is clear: what investigators have found so far has completely changed how we look at the Hogan name. The truth may take years to fully come out, but every new detail makes the story more unbelievable. So, what do you think? Was Hulk Hogan secretly running an operation under the radar, or is this all just overblown speculation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.